Jump. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today on the Pride Lands podcast, we have special guests, Kenedy Athletic Director and head football coach, Shawn Alvarez. We will be discussing restoring the roar, what is pride, and everything happening this week at Kenedy ISD from Kenedy Elementary to Kenedy High School and everything in between.
Welcome to the Pride Lands podcast, coming live from Kenedy ISD, home of the Pride Lands in Kenedy, Texas. We are lions, leopards, and cubs. Hear us roar.
What's up, Shawn?
Hey, Gunner. How's it going?
Coach Alvarez.
Hanging.
Pretty good.
Doing our thing.
What do you think of that intro?
Love it.
Just
cool.
did it like in 15 minutes.
I love the beat, the back end of it.
Awesome. So this is episode 1 of the Pride Land podcast. You're the very first guest. This is the very first episode. So everything's going to be kind of hunky, not very smooth just yet, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
All right. So just bear with us. We're trying to get a feel for this, and hopefully we'll have this going every week. And we have a few guests lined up after Coach Alvarez, but
well, thanks for having me first.
No. Cool. I would give
I feel special, right?
Yeah, you should. All right. So first off, we're going to talk about the happenings of this weekend at Kenedy ISD. We didn't have any results in the time of this broadcast, but we had stock show and rodeo this week for all of our youth. From what I heard, it was a great showing from Kenedy ISD. So round of applause for them. As soon as we get results, we'll go ahead and broadcast that. We had quite a bit of things going on, Kenedy ISD, and we'll get into that in this show. Some of the things that we wanted to start the show off was the reason why we have Coach Alvarez on here is we wanted to talk about what restoring the roar is. Like, a lot of people don't understand that. Like, they just think that, they hear the slogan. It sounds really good. It rhymes coincidentally. So
Yeah.
It looks good on paper. It looks good on a hashtag. But what does it mean? Like, you coming into Kenedy, brand new, not really knowing the culture here, not really knowing too much about what you're getting into. I mean, you did some research, but what was the purpose of everything, of the whole Restore the Roar? I mean, because it wasn't just for athletics, am I right?
No, yeah, not at all. But it was kind of a deal where, I think nowadays we're part of like that branding kind of catchy kids kind of magnet up to something that sounds cool or looks cool. So, you see it all over the internet with all these coaches and kind of people at the elite level in the pros and even at the college ranks, that there's always some kind of catchphrase that gets everybody kind of hyped up. So, we just kind of thought of that actually after I interviewed, and it was kind of like, I knew we were down on the football side of things, and I'd kind of done my homework on Kenedy and kind of where they'd been on both boys and girls side of athletics, and just kind of decided, what about Restore the Roar? But I think what was better is when we kind of made it RTR, when we went hashtag RTR was really even cooler, that everybody kind of jumped on board with it, but really just kind of bringing energy back, kind of, saying, hey, let's pick ourselves back up. Let's get hyped up about something. Let's be pumped about what we're doing, not just about, maybe something here or there, like everything that we're doing. So, I've tried to use it everywhere we're at, in every little email or every tweet that we put out, or every, post that we're making on any kind of social media platform. But I think it's catching for sure. It caught during football season, and hopefully we're going to continue on the rest of the year. But just the kids kind of an idea of, man, we want to be good at what we do. Let's kind of get us back on top. So they've bought into it so far. So it's been exciting.
Yeah, it looks very good on merchandise.
Yeah, exactly.
RTR, it's very marketable. But yeah, it really is. It puts Kenedy in competition with, in all honesty, like as far as marketing and branding goes, like we just needed to get the community on board for something that, not to say was necessarily dead or dying or anything. It's just a resurgence, like sort of like a new energy. Like,
Yeah.
It's just, we're tapping into the old traditions, but, you know, making sure that we emphasize that we're all coming together like right now for this. Like, this is a new era. You know, it's not to tarnish anything that was in the past or anything like that. It's just, we just needed to make sure that everybody was awake, everybody was coming on board for the same cause. And it wasn't just, you know, for athletics, it's just for everything. The idea, I think, behind it was like, when people see us on UIL or see us on the schedule or whatever, it's like, oh man, we got Kenedy coming. Like, it's not just going to be like, oh, you know,
a little walk in the park. I think, you know, really like just a boost. I think it created like a boost for us, you know, like the kids were excited but I think when you think restore the roar, I mean, we had to bring something behind it, you know, there was energy, there was ideas, there was like, you know, like just hype, you know, and kids really early on this summer, you know, when we kind of introduced it in our strong camp and in our summer weight stuff, you know, they were pumped about that stuff, you know, like, we're going to get ourselves back on top, and we're not going to be like the, you know, the kind of the bottom of the barrel type
pushovers.
Yeah, exactly. So it's working.
Yeah,
still working.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of hype this year too. I think we were on like 3 or 4 different news broadcasts.
Yeah.
It was kind of ridiculous.
The hype worked. It did work though. It did work. About it. Yeah.
And then, you know, what was really awesome is, and it's continuing right now, was seeing all the people in the stands, like, especially on road games.
Yeah.
When I think we went to Pettis, that was the first time that I turned around and I was like, wow.
Yeah, we did have a following. There's no doubt. I mean,
people showed up.
And even then, when you have something to be excited about, you know, like, I mean, we really, we exposed it, advertised it, pushed it the right way. And people were kind of like, what's going on over here? What's all this restore the roar? But even now, even like up until like Friday night, you know, the game in Fall City, I mean, it was a good crowd. People did follow, and people, you know, were excited about it in basketball, you know. So now we're in January or almost February, and we're still roaring and restoring and, you know, excited about what we're doing. So it's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So talk about this. You brought up Fall City game on Friday, the basketball games. Talk about what happened this weekend in athletics.
Yeah. So we played Fall City in basketball at their place. If you don't know, it's hard to win in Fall City.
Where is Fall City?
15 miles down the road.
Oh, Fall City, Texas. I got you.
So it's not, you know, it's never easy for anybody. And what's crazy, we went down there, and their girls are good. Our girls played and competed well. But they hadn't lost a home game in like 12 years. And they lost to Port Aransas. Their girls did lost to Port Aransas the other day for the first time. And the coach was telling me that, you know, the whole time he'd been there, he hadn't lost a home game. So it kind of shows that it's not easy to win. They're competitive, not only their kids and coaches, but their fans and their parents and everybody's, you know, that they want their kids to be successful. And I think it's one of those things where, you know, like we're talking about, like Kenedy's coming into town. You know, we don't want to be a part of, you know, Kenedy beating Fall City. No one wants to experience that. So our girls competed. We played hard. I think we got a little bit stuck in the hype and the emotion, a little bit of the game and the screaming and the packed gym. You know, obviously we fell a little bit short, but I think we got better in the fourth quarter, and, you know, we were able to leave the floor saying, hey, we just played a good basketball team. You know, let's move on. Let's get ready to, you know, start over and play referee on Tuesday. But, you know, our boys got on, and we knew it was going to be competitive. They're good and we're good. And like I said, they don't want to lose to us in reality. You know, Fall City does not want Kenedy to beat them. And so, I mean, we came out with a bang. I mean, we were up. We stayed up. You know, if I can remember, I don't think we were down like the first 2.5 quarters. Like, we never went down. Like, we weren't losing at any point. At one point, we were up by 12. And you can see frustration on their side. And, you know, our everybody on our side was excited and kept their cool. And, you know, we were obviously sometimes a little too emotional with some of the calls, but it was fun. I mean, they cut it to like, I think they got it down to 2, and then we went back up, and then they cut it, but we ended up winning by 3. You know, probably could have been a little bit bigger, but, you know, to beat them at home is tough. There's no doubt.
For sure.
I know we split with them last year, but we couldn't beat them at their place. So we got their place, you know, kind of out of the way. You know, we'll come back, you know, in a few weeks and play them here at our place. and hopefully, same result. But that was a good night. Friday night was good. Our kids were excited. We got to go eat Shorties after, and everybody's fired up about that. And
Sweet.
Kids were.
How was the Pride? Were they out there in full force?
Oh, it was amazing. It really is. I mean,
good job, Pride.
Yeah. And the way the Pride carried themselves, really, really, I was excited about that because I know everybody was like, oh, it's going to be a big rival and you're going to have to make sure these people are, your people are acting right and our people are acting right and our people get out of hand. And, I had multiple talks with several people from a Falls City about it, but we were the bigger crowd then. I mean, we definitely, we were screaming and yelling for our team, but we behaved, which was good. So Pride, great job.
Yep.
Way to represent the right way.
That's part of the restoring the roar process, making sure that everybody is on the same page and doing everything.
Yeah.
With class.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, man. So,
but we also went to, we powerlifted Saturday.
Yep. That's what I was going to ask.
We went to Smithville, which is like kind of near College Station. And
first off, why are we going all the way to Smithville?
Well,
like nobody won us around here.
When Coach Murrah was looking, I think he just kind of wanted something different. I mean, we've been to like the San Diego and the Hebronville and like whatever GP or in the area. So it was like, hey, Smithville's hosting, can we go? And I'm like, yeah. I think at the same time, Dilly was hosting a meet this past weekend. And it was like around the same distance, it was like 100 miles of Dilly and 105 miles of Smithville. So,
well, Dilly is being featured in the Netflix show right now. So it probably would have been cooler to go there, man.
To go to Dilly, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, cool. But the deal was that they didn't have, there was no 2As there. It was just 6A, 5A, 4As competing at this powerlifting meet. And so we were the only 2A. And we took away some gold medals. I mean, Reagan Villarreal got first in his weight class. We had some second places with Joseph and Jose. And then Alex Sanchez got third. We had Desiree placed on the girls' side. Alejandra placed. Pearl Soto placed. So we came out. I mean, we came out on top. There's no doubt at that powerlifting meet. And the kids are competing their butt off. It was cool because we went to, he took them to eat at Warner's and Shiner after the meet.
Hey, hold on. How much? Like, do we have a partnership with Warner's?
I know, right?
Yeah, we've eaten there like 3 times. They've catered our banquets.
Mr. Warner takes care of us.
Hey, you can send some stuff over here, Warner.
He hooks us up with like chicken fried steaks and 2 sides for, like it's really good price. I think it's like $7. He takes care of us. So
sweet.
We're always stopping there. And
thank you, Warner.
Said that Saturday they'd never seen a more polite group of kids come through the restaurant.
That once I need to bring this up because I don't think anybody really, there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that people just don't know about. It's everyday business. But I remembered after the Kenedy Shiner football game, you guys went to go eat at Warner's again. So like, I think we should just start getting a percentage of what.
Yeah, what they're making.
Yeah. Somebody, one of the waitresses messaged our Facebook page and basically just ranted on like how well behaved our boys were. And like, it was just like a pleasure, like just seeing such cordial young men just acting like young men. And I think we took a bad beating that night, right? I don't remember the score. We don't need to talk about the score. But, the fact that the kids were still well behaved and presented themselves well goes a long way. That's basically what the whole process of like restoring the roar.
No, you're right. And that's kind of one of our things in athletics is like when we go eat, we sit down, we tell all the kids that, hey, it's your responsibility to like pick up your stuff, give it to them or throw it away or get a rag. And so, I mean, it was cool to see us. We did it Friday at Shorty's. And Shorty's was like, wow. I mean, we cleaned up after ourselves. And then when Coach Murray called me Saturday and he was like, hey, dude, he's like, they said they'd never seen. I was like, that's awesome. And I tell the kids all the time, this is part of like the culture change. We talk about change a game, change a culture. And, like when other people start to notice what we're doing and it's really, it's them. I tell them it's a testament to you guys buying into what we're trying to teach you. We're just the adult trying to guide you and put you in position to be successful. And and you're really now like taking that bait and running with it. So it's good. I mean,
yeah, it's great to see that change. Yeah. Speaking of change the culture, change the game. If you guys haven't heard, the listeners out there, and the majority, you probably seen it on the internet or on Facebook, probably just don't know what it's about. It's a book that Miss Dr. Barrera basically adopted for our philosophy for this school year. It goes hand in hand with what Coach Alvarez is doing in athletics, of changing the culture, changing the game, restoring the roar, and it just basically just tying everything together. But the main focus of all this is not only to, change athletics, but to change the academic side of it, but also the community side of it. So Miss Dr. Barrera started a community book study in the beginning of the year. I think we've had 2 book studies so far, and the reception hasn't been the greatest. Like, a lot of people haven't shown up, and I think it's because they just don't know what it is. Like, I think you have to bring the book, or you have to buy the book and you have to read it, which would be nice. It would be awesome if everybody was able to buy that book and show up with some knowledge on what's going on, what chapter we're on, but you don't have to. Like, you can show up and give ideas on how to get this community like on the next step, how to keep building off of all this momentum. And we are having another book study tomorrow, January, what's it?
21st tomorrow.
Tomorrow's the 21st?
Yeah.
January 21st at 6 p.m. at the admin building here at Kenedy ISD. You can just come. You don't have to bring the book. You don't have to bring anything. Just bring yourself, your pride, and your ideas, and join in. Help us restore the roar in another facet of it, and that's the community. You've been to a couple of these book studies yourself, haven't you?
Yeah, no, it is good. I mean, I think it's cool. I went to the last one, and to see like community members out, which like kind of trying to all get on the same page, kind of have the same ideas or share some thoughts that maybe will get us on the same page. But I think that's part of the process, because really, if the kids see like not just their teachers and coaches and admin people buying in, and they see like their parents or their friends' parents, it goes even further. They're like, oh yeah, they're all a part of it now. Like, it's not like we're in little groups. So there's these little sections of people that think one way, or in this one think another. Like, we're all starting to think the same now. It's not going to happen overnight, obviously, but to know that there's people out there that want it to happen is great. Because it is working. If you don't think it, go call Shorties or Warners or whoever else sees this on a weekly basis.
And you gotta, so not to stray too far, but January 21st, 6 p.m., Kenedy ISD Administration Building. Be here and be square. No, I'm just kidding. Just be here. Yeah. It's going to be, I think we're going to try to live stream tomorrow's. There was a few people who don't live in Kenedy, but would like to contribute some of their thoughts and ideas, and just listen to what we're discussing. So that's amazing. So if you live in Kenedy, you got nothing to do tomorrow at 6 p.m., come on by, bring some ideas and jump on board. But that reminded me, you said Warners and Shorties and all these people who basically compliment us everywhere we've been going so far. I mean, like you said, this doesn't happen overnight. Not everybody is picture perfect. Not everything is 100% or A+, but it's a progress, and you're seeing results. And I think you said something a couple of weeks ago about when you guys played Port A, which was another amazing game, because usually we get walloped by Port A also, from my understanding.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to go off of memory here, but you had something else that one of the Port A coaches mentioned, right?
Yeah, it was, which was really, that was the first one that kind of was like, wow. So I'm like watching the game, the boys game, the girls were done, and I'm just kind of sitting, and so I go stand by the athletic director, and I'm just like, visiting with him a little bit. And he just randomly, like, he's not a real talkative guy, and he just randomly comes up or looks at me, and he's like, hey, I don't know what's going on in Kenedy or what y'all are doing. He's like, but I've never seen them behave and carry themselves like this. He said, he's like, normally right now, he said, we would have broken up a couple scuffles already, or we would have had to gone to the stands and told some parents, like,
no, not Kenedy. No.
But, he's like, it's awesome. And he was like bragging about how our kids looked, their frames and kind of their builds, and how he can tell they'd been in the weight room. And So it was special to hear. I was kind of caught off guard, dude. I was kind of like, I mean, obviously I was like, thank you. And yeah, but I didn't know what else to say other than, yeah, you know, but it's the truth. And I told him, I said, we have really good kids. Like we really do. Our kids are good. They've just never really been put in a position to be successful or given a chance to like have some structure and organization and say, hey, this is how you do things. But again, because they're buying into that and there's all these teachers and, you know, everybody involved trying to make them better, it's working, you know, and I was happy to share it with our junior high kids and our high school kids to be like, people are seeing you change. I mean, I don't know if you really want that or if you're happy for that, but it's happening. And it's good to hear that people see like, you know, this better side of what we can do. And we all know we can do it. Let's just knock it out. So that was cool for Coach Reeves to say that. You know, he said he'd been around 20 years. He said, I've been playing Kenedy and basketball, baseball. I said, I see him in track and cross country. He said, but this is like a different Kenedy. I'm like, well, thanks. It's awesome.
It's been fun so far. I really enjoyed myself at the games that I have been able to go to. So keep it up, kids and parents. You guys keep it up too.
Keep rolling, no doubt.
Dropping these junior high boys off at 6:30 is not easy. I can
exactly.
I can attest for that. I hate mornings, and every morning my son wakes up and I'm begging him not to go to practice. No, I'm just kidding. I don't say that. But yes, parent
practice.
keep it up. You know, it's changing the game, not just for Kenedy athletics. That's not the goal here. It's changing everything, like from elementary on. So speaking of elementary, we have some awards. We were on a extended break. I think it's been almost 5 weeks since we've had a Leo Lions. So this is our first podcast. So basically we're gonna give shout outs to everybody who's done stuff. And since elementary kind of haven't had any rewards since before Christmas break, we were just going to make sure that we include them every week. So the Leo Lions, you know, make sure that you guys listen in elementary, because every week your kid's name's going to be called out if they got with Leo Lions from the week before. So week 11, Leo Lions. These are kids that go above and beyond, outstanding kids. We just want to give a shout out to Kinder Robert Rodriguez, first grade, Mina Cantu. Mina. Second grade, Malachi Hale. Third, Nolani Aleman. Fourth, Simon Cruz. And fifth grade, Alana Torres. Good job, guys. Now, if I butcher names, please I'm sorry. I will try to be better at it, but
but honestly, like when you think about what we were talking about, restoring the roar, we talk about like pride and we use the word pride lands, like it really starts with stuff like this. Like,
I agree.
I don't know if kids understand it yet, or they're like, oh, that was just, they're going to give it to them because they haven't got it. But it really like, it's important to know that we have pride in what we're doing. Like even at that grade level, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, because those kids grow up, they're going to be in junior high soon.
Yeah.
You know, they've got to be pride. They got to have pride in what, like, you know, the whole brand of Kenedy.
Yeah. Leo Lions is not something that, and shout out to Miss recently retired Joyce Holmeyer. I hope you're enjoying retirement, for implementing this Leo Lion program like 4 or 5 years ago. It's not something that everyone gets. That's the awesome part about it. Like, last year, I know one of these little girls, first grade, Mina Cantu, did not get Leo Lion. So it's not for, like, they're just not handing them out. Like, these kids have to earn this. Yeah. And it is a point of pride. They get to wear the jersey around all day, so everybody knows that they are the Leo Lion. So it's a good little program to have. And these kids are really proud when they get it. And I go over there and take their pictures, and they're grinning from ear to ear. So it's really amazing. So also we have the KES pledge leaders, which this is another form of pride. And I'll let you talk about this after I give a shout out to these kids who are pledge leaders. But every month we have a board meeting. Tonight we have a board meeting at 6 p.m. So make sure you guys come on down to the board meeting at the administration building. Is it 6 p.m. or 5 p.m.? 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Yep. We have a group of elementary kids that basically lead the entire board meeting in Pledge of Allegiance. They stand up. They are picked by their teachers, and they come and represent the KES at the board meeting, and they do an outstanding job reading the pledge. But as of broadcast time right now, I only had 5 kids that were on this list. So if there's any more, I apologize. You will get your certificate tonight and you would get recognition with the picture and everything in the newspaper. But as of right now, I only had second grade Alexis Barnes, kinder Riley De La Garza, first grade Kinley Rao, third grade Trinity Farias, and third grade Mark Baldera. So good job, guys, for being the KES pledge leader. Talk about like what that means to you. Because I mean, I am bombarding you with this question. You had no idea I was going to ask this.
Exactly. No, but I think one, like, I mean, beyond, you know, when we get to say like the pledge and we talk about that, we're honoring something way bigger than us. It really to get pegged by your teacher, number one, to say, hey, this is like, I want you because you've done this, and this. That's a big deal, you know. And sometimes the little ones don't get it when they think highly. Their teacher thinks highly of them. You know, you should be happy about that, and then to be able to come in front of the board, and really lead the pledge, and you know, do that in front of people, and you know, what you're doing it for, and the flag and our country goes a long way. It kind of teaches you, you know, more than just getting up in front of, you know, during every morning and, you know, kind of doing it and saying, okay, hurry up, let's be over with. This is a big honor. So, I was in the military and I took all this stuff really serious. You know, I got to play taps when I was in boot camp, and, you know, there was things that I got to do that, you know, now I'm like, wow, that was really cool. So when you win this stuff, I mean, you know, take pride in it. But again, I think it goes back to like our Restoring the Roar, our whole, you know, Kenedy pride. What does that really mean? Well, this is all part of it. You know, we have to be proud of what we're doing, and not just like us as like teachers or administrators or, you know, employees of the district, like everybody, like parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles, to be like, hey man, we're proud. Like, you won this, be proud of it. So the more they hear it, the more that like we train them that, you know, this is what pride means.
Yeah.
You know, this is how you do it. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And that whole thing with like just reciting the Pledge of Allegiance of, you know, for the greatest country in the world, United States. Basically, that's another level of pride. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, these kids are like basically just, you know, not only being proud, having pride in themselves, but having pride in their school, but also having pride in their country.
Yep.
Eventually, we're going to do like a Texas Lone Star Pride Award or something, because you know, it's the greatest state in the world too.
It's the best state in the best country, right?
But yeah, that leads me to, you know, my next topic. Like, what you basically hit it just a few seconds ago, but what is pride? You know,
but like, you know, and I always think about this. Like, whenever I got here, I thought to myself, like, support and pride. You know, pride. Like you think about places that have like tradition. When you think about tradition, you have pride. You know, you're proud. But pride goes way beyond like wearing a school shirt, you know, because someone told you to. Well, I have pride because I wear my playoff shirt or whatever, you know, but like, I mean, pride it's deep, you know. Pride to me is like, are you going to sit at home with your mom and dad or your grandma and grandpa, you know, at night on a Monday and eat, you know, fideo or, you know, hamburger steaks, whatever it is.
Why is it going to be fideo, man?
Well, I mean, I love fideo. It's really good. It's easy to make too. But, you know, like, to be like, how was your day today? You know, what'd you do? What'd you learn in math? You know, I don't care if it's a first grader or 11th grader. You know, to me, that's we're taking pride in our day-to-day activities with our kids. You know, like I think it starts there. That's how you start building pride. You start building tradition. You know, we're not bashing the system. You know, like, we're proud to be a Kenedy lion or a leopard, right? So like, we got to carry ourselves that way. It's real easy to say, yeah, I'm all in, but what are you doing? Like, if someone's talking bad about us, how are you sticking up for us? Or if there's an event, are you there to support? Or if someone's down, what are we going to do to pick them up? That's pride, in my opinion. And we've gotten 1,000 times better from what, you know, kind of where we were and kind of where we're going. But, you know, I see it all the time. And you know, I try to do, you know, I think connecting with people goes a long way. And I know that I'm proud to be here and I'm proud to do everything I can to make it better. But like, you know, like it's just going it. Like, I go into the bleachers every game, right? And I just kind of shake hands with everybody and say, hi, how's it going? You know, how's work today? Or what have you been up to when you go back to work? Or you've been hunting, or, you know, anybody doing any fishing or whatever the case may be, just connecting to know that, hey man. And then, you know, just a little like tap, hey, you know, so-and-so, actually, I forgot to tell you this the other day, and they did awesome. So proud. help us keep pushing them, keep supporting. You know, I think those little moments, if we get everybody bought into that, you know, we're going to show more pride, you know, like it's just important. So, you know, you kind of, I think you have to get out of your comfort zone to really understand that, like, man, I'm proud and I'm going to show and tell people how proud I am, because you don't have to be embarrassed or shy or like, well, it's kind of.
Yeah. That's a society thing I see right now is like where we were at last year, as far as like pride and like the stands or whatever, is completely, it's a 180 from, you know, I don't want to say we're at the highest point we're ever going to be. Like, there's still room to grow and we are progressing as a community, but, like the pep rallies themselves, like this year, like, I mean, they weren't the greatest things in the world, but they were a lot better.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I could see a lot more and a lot, but it was just mainly just because people are getting to the point where, like, you know, they're not, you don't have, like, we live in a society of cool.
Yeah.
Like, if it's cool, I mean, if it requires you to get out of your comfort zone, then it's not cool.
Yeah.
And a lot of kids do not like to be uncool.
Exactly.
And so, like, a part of it is like when we do the victory chant, whatever, those elementary kids like are busting the lungs, screaming so loud. Middle school kids too, and that's good because we don't want that to die. The high school kids, you know, they need some work and they need to realize that it's all right, man. It's cool. Like, I remember, I mean, you were probably in high school in the 1900s too. When I was in high school, like, we had a group called the Loud Crowd, and we would get technical fouls at basketball games because we were so rowdy.
Yeah.
And like
the crazy student section type.
Student section. And like, you just don't see that anymore because they just don't know how to kind
of let loose or like,
relax, just, man. Nobody cares. Listen, guys, nobody cares.
Nobody's judging you. Like, who cares?
Like, it's okay. Like, it's even cool. Like, it's awesome. Like, to be that much into something. Like, if you go to my house during Spurs playoff games, like, you're probably going to have to like go to church afterward or something. Cause I get into it.
Yeah.
And like, even football games on the sidelines, I had to, since you brought me on the sidelines this year and I was recording, like, I had to really train myself not to yell, not to scream. And for parents that, you know, see me in the stands at my son's basketball games, I apologize.
Yeah.
I really get into it and it's okay. Like, I'm trying, like, there's a group of kids in middle school that are really, really enthusiastic about things. And there's a group in high school that's really, really enthusiastic about everything that we're doing. And we're just trying to get that to grow because it's just, that's how it's going to be okay. Like, don't worry about like not being cool or whatever. Like, just get into, you only got 4 years.
It goes away quick. But you know what else I've noticed is that, like, I'll go to like right now, like the basketball games and just seeing like the crowd and talking to people. But I see a lot of kids that just graduated last year that are back in the gym, like screaming, yelling. And they'll tell me like, man, I wish I was still in school. You know, like they're kind of feeling the excitement as well. But that goes back to that word pride, you know, like they're happy. They're proud to come back and watch their peers play a basketball game, whether it might be a boyfriend, a friend, a cousin. They're coming back and they're like clapping. They're like, yeah, let's go, you know? So it's happening. Sometimes we might not notice it. Maybe we don't get it, but it really is happening. And so that's what pride really means. I mean, like, you know, what are we doing away from the athletic period? What are we doing away from the math class? What are we doing away from, you know, morning announcements? Like, you know, are we all supporting each other or do we got each other's back? Because that's what I think goes the furthest and then say, man, I'm proud to be from Kenedy or I'm proud to be in school here. You know, so we're definitely grinding that out as much as we can.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So hopefully next year, like our like pep rallies and things like that are even
better.
Yeah. Even better. Like, I mean, that's it. That's the progress. Like every year we're just building up and it's just getting louder and louder and everybody's going to hear this roar. Everybody hear them roar. Oh man, you get a lot of compliments on some of the stuff that gets posted on social media. Like, you know, I think, you know, there was a news broadcast I saw the other day. I was like, wow, I didn't even know we were on the Corpus News. I saw it on YouTube and
oh wow.
And they even used our tagline. It was like, it was from our playoff game, and I was just like, wow, she like, I think News 4 and Kins 5 or whoever was out here this year, you know, they used the Pride Lands tagline, and you know, that made me proud. You know what I mean? Like, people don't understand, like, lion pride is like the fiercest thing on the planet, as opposed to like the United States Marines or something. You know what I mean? Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're right. It is. I mean, it
or Navy SEALs.
Navy SEALs. Maybe the Coast Guard, right?
Hey.
But yeah. What were we saying?
Just basically like how our pride is rubbing off on other people outside of the community.
Like, I mean, we're getting some like, I think people are noticing, you know, like people are starting to talk about us, and we're putting ourselves out there in a positive way, in my opinion. I mean, like, even like I went to like a meeting. It was called Power of Influence meeting on Friday. And everybody's like, I mean, I mean, I do keep up with a lot of people in like the coaching world, but there was so many coaches that came up to me and were like, hey, y'all had a great year. Or I kept up with y'all, or I saw this game, or, hey, I saw the score to this game. And I'm going, dang, like, I was really surprised to see like these random people that, you know, I know in the business or in the profession, but that, you know, to know that they kept up with what we were doing was kind of special. So it's definitely, we're getting exposure.
It is special.
Yeah.
And community members, let's keep this momentum going. Don't just rely on the Coach Alvarez's and the Dr. Barrera's and all the teachers. And you guys can come on board. Like, you guys can step up also. You know, join the boosters, become part of some of these committees that we have that we run through the administration. Come tomorrow. Come to the book study tomorrow at 6 p.m. Come to the board meeting tonight at 6 p.m.
What's cool about the book study, though, is like you get to share like what's on your mind in like a really like a controlled, calm, like positive environment. You know, like if you think something might work, I mean, it's cool. And then like,
or something's not working,
people bounce that stuff around like, oh, okay. Yeah. Or, you know, just different ideas come about. So the book studies, it's big because it's just kind of like a round table, kind of like campfire talk, you know, like,
the last thing that you should do as a community member is just basically critique everything from the sidelines, or, you know, have these great ideas that you're not sharing. Like, come over here. Like, nobody's going to hear what you're saying, like 5 rows up in the stands. Like, come on, come over here. You know, let's talk about
hands as your microphone.
Let's, you know, join the progress, you know, let's build on it together. So, I mean, I think, you know, that's basically what we can talk about pride and restoring the roar and everything that's been going on in Kenedy ISD for hours. But, you know, the proof is in the pudding. You know, this has been a great year so far. Academically, you know, you see a lot of changes. UIL season's coming up. We had some UIL debates that did pretty well a couple of weekends ago. We just finished our UIL film, and we just actually, I have the UIL middle school results, and we'll post that later on this afternoon. And shout out to the Kenedy Elementary School UIL. They got 3rd place at their UIL meet last Wednesday. Well, I think
another thing that
so good job, Kenedy Elementary School and Kenedy Middle School. Way to represent Kenedy with pride.
There's more pride coming, baby, right there. One thing I did forgot to mention was that like the advocate recognized. I didn't nominate. I wasn't like a part. They didn't call me and say, hey, who do you think? Give me the stats. They had their all area, the Victoria Advocate all area football selections. And, you know, they chose 3 of our players, Giovanni Gibson, who's a sophomore, Jaron Salais, who's a junior, Oscar Hinojosa, who's a senior. They were all selected to the all area football team, the honorable mention team. But, you know, for them to like,
this is like super region, right?
Yeah. This is 5A down to, or 6A down to 2A. And there was
like a 100-mile radius
chosen. Yeah. And they chose 3 of ours. So that's special also to those guys that get selected.
Good job, boys. We will be posting something about them later on this afternoon. Awesome. So
yeah, congratulations to those guys.
What was it? I mean, what was the award?
It was the all area, Victoria Advocate all area football team honorable mention.
Sweet.
Selections. And that's where they were selected. So we had a little presentation today for those guys, gave them a little certificate, but that's special. That's stuff you can carry with you forever. Again, pride. Oscar can graduate here in a minute, in May, and be like, man, hey, I've gotten these awards. That was my senior year, and he'll want to come back and be, talk to, one day be able to talk to these guys and be like, man, you got to work hard. You got to do this. You got to do it. So again, building that pride, in my opinion. I mean, that's why we did what we did, to be like, we're gonna really recognize and celebrate your accomplishments, and so these kids did a great job. So we're proud of them. So
sweet.
Thanks,
Round of
guys.
applause to those guys.
Yeah.
What do you got going on this week in athletics?
Well, one, tonight we have a softball meeting. So are you softball parents, softball players, softball mom and dad, softball grandma, grandpa, anybody? We have a parent meeting tonight at 6 p.m. in the high school gym. We'd love to have everybody in the stands visiting. I know Coach Zubia, Coach Kurzek will have a presentation and a packet put together as far as team expectations and do's and don'ts and how-tos and schedules and, field arrangements and all that good stuff. So that's going on. We'd love to see everybody out just to kind of share kind of how we're going to run that program and our expectations for everybody. But again, the more support leads to more pride, which leads to more success for our kids. So That's tonight. Tomorrow, our basketball teams travel to Refugio. Our boys are going to go another battle with Refugio. They're 3-1. We're 3-1 in district. Our girls start over round 2 of the district game. So Refugio beat our girls. We lost to them last time by 9 points. So we have a legitimate shot. I think we're a way better basketball team than we were December 17th. So it'll be exciting, but it's going to be good games on both ends, boys and girls. We'll have a JV boys game as well on Tuesday. So that'll be tomorrow night. Thursday night.
What time do those start?
Our JV boys will start at 5. We're going to play 3 games in one gym. So it'll be JV boys, varsity girls, varsity boys. Refugio just opened their gym, so they only have one from Hurricane Harvey. So they're excited about playing games at home finally.
Awesome.
Thursday, we go to Falls City with our junior high kids. So that'll be, I think it's 4 games, 7th girls, 8th girls, 7th boys, 8th boys. So that'll be in Falls City.
What time?
I believe I got to call the guy today, but I think we always start those games at 5.
5.
So,
Yep.
Yeah. And then
In Fall City.
Yeah, in Falls City. And then Friday, our high school boys and girls basketball teams, we go to Woodsboro. So we're on the road twice this week. We're on the road with everybody, really. We go to Woodsboro. Again, winnable game on the girls' side. We played them tight last time. And then the boys, this will be the first time to play them. So we should play 4 games that day. JV boys, JV girls, varsity boys. So we'll see how that looks for Friday. But also on Friday, another big deal is UIL's. That's the first day to start softball practice. So softball players that aren't in basketball
Friday already
are starting practice this Friday. And actually today starts track practice for everybody else. If you're not in any sports right now, they're on the track. They're going to start conditioning with Coach White and Coach Beering today, which we should have about 20 kids out there. We're trying to motivate and encourage all our kids to run track. We think that's definitely one of the staples to developing an athlete. So we got our junior high kids going out as well today. So a lot of good stuff going on, a lot of crazy stuff.
This year's going by way too fast.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is.
Slow it down.
Oh, and then Saturday, our high school powerlifting team goes to Edna. We're going to Edna. We take about 18 lifters. Coach Murray's doing a heck of a job with that powerlifting group. Got all them kids fired up. So
sweet. Yeah, they're doing good. Good job. All these athletic departments, especially powerlifting. You guys are really representing really well. Basketball, you guys too. Football's still getting recognition. So things are happening at Kenedy ISD. And, it's just a lot of hard work. These kids are working hard. I saw them today before we took the picture for their award, lined up like a drill team. Like you could probably measure shoulder to shoulder and probably like exactly 12 inches in between each kid. I mean, it was a sight to see. So parents know your kids are putting in the hard work.
Yeah, for sure.
We got a lot of stuff going on at Kenedy ISD this week. Some of it's more or less just internal. So the external stuff we have is the board meeting tonight at 6 to 8 p.m. Be sure to stop on by, give your ideas. Like Coach Alvarez said, they have their parent meeting also. Tomorrow we have the community book study. come on by, show up, sign in, shoot some ideas around, become part of the process, not part of the problem. And let's just keep building on everything we're talking about. Like just join in and be part of the fun. Cause that's what it is. It's fun. You know, when you build something from scratch. So you can go to like Judson or any one of these already made, but they started somewhere, and that's where we're starting somewhere. And we have the opportunity to. I remember when Coach Alvarez was hired, and somebody sent something online, and like, you really want to go to Kenedy? And it's like, and I think somebody replied like, why not? It's a blank canvas. Like, you know, exactly. You can do pretty much anything you want, you know, as long as you're successful and people buy into it. You know, we're not in it for the, you know, like Coach Alvarez is in it to improve a program and improve these kids. And like, you know, I don't like what I do as a communications coordinator is like, I don't show off things that are made. Like, these kids are really doing this stuff.
Yeah.
These teachers are really doing this stuff. So it makes everybody's life and job easier, and it needs to be glorified. So, oh yeah, shout out to the Education Foundation winners from today. We had a presentation. So 2 teachers got a grant from the wonderful Kenedy ISD Education Foundation. Thank you for all that you guys do. And the recipients this year were Douglas Myers and Lacey Bell.
Yeah.
Do you remember how much they got each? It was about $2,000 each.
Mr. Douglas got $2,200 and Miss Bell got $23.
Yep. Awesome job, guys.
Awesome.
Yep. And that goes to programs and materials and stuff for their classroom. So amazing job, teachers, and amazing job, Kenedy Education Foundation. That's another program that the community members can join. So, yeah. And then we have Friday, January 24th, we're going to have the Kenedy Secondary Perfect Attendance and Honor Roll Assembly. They give out some really cool prizes, and that's all because your kids are either passing all their classes and doing really well in it, and or they're showing up to school every day, you know, and those go hand in hand. So the more time you spend at school, the better your grades are. So shout out to Kenedy Secondary. Friday, January 24th, they will have their assembly for that. All right. I got nothing else for today's first episode. How was it? It
was awesome. I love it.
Yeah. I mean,
love it. Well, I think the greatest thing is like we were able to like really share to the world what we're doing, you know. It's cool. And everything's really a testament to all our kids. You know, I tell everybody all the time, we got good kids. We really do. I don't care what anybody says, our kids are good. And so they deserve all this. That, yep. You know, we're taking a step. We're kind of the ones that are setting the tone, really, this podcast stuff. So hats off to you, G-Man.
Thank you, man.
This is all your ideas that are great.
Appreciate it. We do have, we will have some student segments soon. Last week we had like 3 or 4 episodes that some students recorded. So we're going to fine tune all this stuff and make sure that it's reoccurring. So I don't know if we're going to do like twice a week or every week or bi-weekly. I really don't know how we plan on doing the structure yet, but just stay tuned. Let us know. Don't go anywhere. If there's anything you want us to discuss on this next episode, feel free to email us at media@KenedyISD.com. Or if you want to shout out to your student or athlete, just email media@KenedyISD.com. So I appreciate you spending 48 minutes. Wow. Time flies when you're having fun.
You're freaking having a blast. Yeah, awesome. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you, Coach Alvarez, and good luck tonight and tomorrow and the rest of the week, rest of the year. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to episode 1 of the Pride Lands podcast. Thank you very much, Kenedy, and restore the roar. Peace.